Well, I'm a bit late with this one this month. I don't know why, I just never got around to recording this. I woke up like maybe 20, 30 minutes ago. Looked at the date and was like, oh, it's only a week left of April. Maybe I should do that channel recap, so let's do that. We're gonna cover everything from Rideau Alvin up to Seafall Phantom Luger, so we've got quite a few videos to cover this time, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. That's a bit louder than I would have wanted it. So Rideau is not that troublesome with Alvin, since at this point you usually have both the darkness and light weapons, and so initiating a power combo is pretty easy. Using a few arts I don't normally use in this one, like Hair Trigger for purely offensive purposes rather than just the instant kill that I've used it for in earlier battles. And also using Arc Fire, or Arc Blaze, or whatever the charged version is called. Getting lucky with the Demon Whip there. Can't really think of a whole lot I would change about this one. It's kind of hard not to end up in a corner when you're playing as Alvin. Oh well. And we've got Chronos Luger reworked. Since I didn't like the original version, I figured that, you know, I'm just gonna redo it. And I did. And I'm a lot happier with this one, because I think it's a better video, speaking from a combo perspective. As you can see here, using a setup that really wouldn't be possible against many other bosses except Chronos. Most bosses would have teched out of power swing there. Not teched out, strictly speaking, but they would have recovered out of it. But with Chronos' long recovery times, you can do that. And so far so good. Getting stuck in the corner, and then I do the Chromatus finish anyway, which, you know my stance on that already. So if there was anything I was going to change, I would change that, but, you know, I'm not going to do a remix on a remix so soon. Maybe next year, if I get around to it, if I feel like it. So yeah, that's that. I thought I heard my cell phone vibrate for a second there. Next we've got Megatusk Jude. Megatusk is fun with Jude. As you can see here, I go for the front step activated snap pivot instead, since I don't get the glowing effect on the feet. And doing so allows me to more safely dodge varied charge, and while he's over there contemplating his mistakes, I get plenty of time to get power charge free going. But yes, I like this fight quite a bit. You can see that Rising Falcon, it's not happening right now, but it happened a bit earlier. Due to Megatusk's hitbox, you hit the head, and you slide under his belly, right around to his hind legs. And then you slide right back out. And that's pretty good, because it means you can chain it into pretty much any other art you want, since you don't end up behind him. So that's cool, I like that. Ran out of AC there, which was a bit unfortunate. But yes, Megatusk really isn't that hard, at least not when it comes to dodging his attacks. I got lucky there. Demon Fist broke his Iron Stance, and then I think this guy is weak to wind. I'm not entirely sure. So, yes he is. So, Demon Fist broke the Iron Stance, and then Whirlwind Snap could connect anyway, because I didn't actually string Demon Fist and Whirlwind Snap together. I was too late with that, because I didn't think Demon Fist would actually stop varied charge, but it did, so I got lucky there. And I almost did the same thing there. I think I probably tried to jump there, but either controller shenanigans or I did the input wrong and he just ended up doing a front step instead. But it's fine because nothing ended up really getting messed up there. I like this video, and we'll get to another Jude video that I like a lot in just a moment, I think. Or have we already done that? Maybe that's later on. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, it's the second to last one. Now we got Julius 2, Ludger, brother versus brother in an epic showdown. I think this is the first video where I cut out the Chromatus entirely. And I'm pretty happy with all the setups in this one. I've had a bit of a brain fart there. I was going to use Stun Blitz to get some AC back, which I did, and then I wasn't entirely sure what to do. I think I forgot. I think I was just going to switch to the hammers right away, but I think I switched in the wrong direction, so while I was there I figured I might as well throw in another 1,000 swords, even though it looks awkward. And then here, trying to get the stagger, managed to do it with energy shackles. And you'll see me get lucky sometime here. Right here. Moonlight Assault ends up stunning him, which was... I was really lucky. If that hadn't happened, Julius would have ended the combo right there, probably turned around and used Falling Snow on me, and I would have failed. But luckily enough, I got the stun. So, you know, the goddess of luck watched over me on that one, for once. Julius Alvin. Alright, I'm using Elise as bait here. He's dodging around Julius's attacks with Alvin is a bit of a pain because Julius is so fast, Alvin is pretty slow. But I think I don't mind it since... I don't know, I tried for so long to dodge around and couldn't do it. I wasn't good enough at the time. So if I were to ever redo this one, I would cut out the Elise bait. Definitely. And the reason I used the squid in this one was because I couldn't get a combo started with Regal Blade or Morning Edge or any of the other elemental weapons I had. That was probably just bad luck on my part, because Julius would always tech, but as soon as I started using the squid, that started happening a lot less frequently, so I don't know what was up with that. That's the way I ended up doing it, so that's the way it ended up. Now we got Megatusk Alvin. I got lucky a few times, particularly at the end of this video. I get very lucky. Also sad to admit that this is one of those where I resort to Dragon Swarm a bit too much. I think this is one of those... I don't think this is a one combo deal. Here I forget to use Cross Cleave. I probably thought I already used it, so I had a brain fart there, which was unfortunate. That would have been a 630% damage multiplier, which is nice. And realizing my mistake, I threw it out a bit earlier there, so as to not forget it. And getting the Demon Whip stun again, thinking a bit, and going for Dragon Salvo again. And we're soon getting to the point that's lucky. Yeah, there, finishing up with the second blow of Tiger Blade. Because he was about to use Varied Charge, I think. He was about to attack me. So that would have failed miserably if I hadn't killed him there, so that was lucky. As much as I would like to say that that was perfectly calculated, no. That was pure luck on my part. Hanger Sam Alvin. I like this boss as well. Because it's got, I think it's got a lot of iron stance, but if you hit its head, you can circumvent that, which is fun. I think I do a reasonably good enough job of introducing Devil Flare, is it? I tend to forget the charge names of arts I don't use a whole lot. But I think I was able to integrate that pretty well with Squall Shot there. Using Tiger Blade and Tiger Rage a lot here, I noticed. Not entirely sure why that was. Maybe I just wanted to switch things up. And we are getting up to the finisher. For another move I almost never use. Could have went with just Hellfire, I think, as that ended up killing after the second blow. I like Spiral Wave, I think it's a cool move, and I like Hellfire, I think it's pretty cool too, but not very useful in a combo scenario. I think they're pretty useful in Exilia 1 when the focus isn't that big on just comboing enemies to death. It's more about hit and run. So it's a good combo finisher in that sense. Sonny is a pain in the ass, because sometimes he'll just jump straight for you. No warning. And if you're in the process of throwing out pulse shots or using Tiger Blade, that means you'll get hit. And that sucks. That's not supposed to happen. The double pulse shot front step Tiger Blade is generally the safest option. Because at that point, pulse shot will have whittled down his iron stance enough so that Tiger Blade can break it. Either break it or just connect. What am I trying to say here? I'm tired. It'll either break what remains of the iron stance and then initiate a power combo, or it'll just initiate the power combo since the iron stance is already broken. Picture perfect finish with Dragon Swarm there. And this post-battle conversation takes ages, so we're gonna skip out on that. Winkle Gaius, the first and only Gaius video I've done so far, using Savage Beckoning at the start there to get a bit of a head start on damage. Gaius is also one of those characters that doesn't have a whole lot of elements to play around with. I think he's got the same amount as Jude, possibly one less. Wait, Jude actually has quite a few, I think. Messing up there. Panicking. This fight was very stressful. So I'm not relying on Power Charge here, so I have to rely on Demon Fang to always break the Iron Stance and not make him tech. That's the sticking point. And sometimes it wouldn't do that. I think one of the things I would change with this would be to switch up the combos a bit more, since I think I use the same combo pretty much all the time. Oh, sneezing coming! Oh man. And then I missed the second Swallow Fury, which was unfortunate. Don't talk to me about meat, or whatever he says there. You know, the Long Dao language it's interesting. Throwing in a Soaring Demon Fang there, I think it's called, to mix things up a bit. Can't remember if that was intentional or if I just messed up an input, but let's pretend it was intentional. I keep forgetting if the background music had a title that fit the scenario. I can't remember what it's called. It's from Systeria, I know that much. And it continues in pretty much the same fashion. Until I think here, where I get very lucky. And here as well. So what happened there, I ran out of AC, and then I tried to sidestep around him, so that's why I jumped there. Because I couldn't sidestep it and didn't have any AC. And thankfully, Winkle did his little taunt animation, which allowed me to get some AC back, throw out Demon Fang, he tacked, used Rising Phoenix, I got out of the way. And all is well. Used the Festival Paddle as well because the sounds it makes are pretty humorous, and I also wanted some extra damage. Because this video is pretty long as it is. So I wanted to cut down on the time a bit. Ugh, am I gonna get a cold? I have somewhere to be tonight. I don't want that to happen. Hanger Sam Jude is another video I like. I think it showcases the Jude style I came to use in all following Jude videos pretty well. What with the jump cancels and such. Using Maxwell there as well because I don't want to knock him down more than necessary with Aqua Sweep or Frostbreaker and stuff. Hanger Sam also stays down pretty long, I notice. And then the Blunt Fangs end up doing tons of damage, and they are really... Sticking those at the end of a power combo, like 2-3 of them, that'll make up for any lack of DPS Jude might have had earlier in the combo. I like this final one the best, probably. Rampaging Dragon into Rising Falcon and then Steel. Pretty cool. No idea how Phoenix Plunge connected, but it did, so I'm not gonna question it. Moving on to Catalyst's Luger. We got all 3 of them in one video, because I wanted to cut down on time a bit. With Luger you have to dodge around very charge. Since I can't do snap pivots with him. That would make him a pretty overpowered character. But it's not that hard if you start early enough. I think I hadn't planned on using Meteoric Waltz there. That just ended up happening. This was pretty long ago. I can't really remember what my mindset was going into it. Maybe I was just improvising, who knows. Ending up dodging that Rising Edge with a front step. I'm guessing the axis fucked up a bit. I quite like Scatterbolt. I think usually it puts Luger a bit too far away from the target, especially in conjunction with Lunar Reflection, but with the upgraded Armor Crusher you can get back there pretty easily. I quite like it now. Using a bit of a chroma key effect there to get the battle start animation on top of the existing footage. I think that was the first time I experimented with Meteoric Waltz Squall Shot. And that's a setup I've used pretty reliably since then. It is one that I like quite a bit. And here, this ends up being pretty frame perfect, I think. Not frame perfect, but the positioning is pretty spot on. Both with Freezing Eruption and Requiem, putting me back a bit. Cutting out Power Charge free here because it's weak to light. I think I have light weapons equipped. Luger also has pretty powerful light moves, so I can just use them as is. I think I panic a bit here by using Crushing Blow again, yep. I think I was trying to extend Outlander, but for whatever reason it didn't. So I had to think of something real quick. Decent, I think. And the post-battle conversation that lasts forever, blah blah blah. Oh good, Blaze Claw. This fight was a pain to do, and it's going to be a pain to talk over because it's so long. Quite like the Wingull Gaius one. Although the Jude version is a bit longer. And, I mean, if you were around when these went up and you've read the descriptions, you'll know how much I hate BlazeClaw. Thankfully, Alvin doesn't have that big a problem with his arms. That really is the main culprit here. Because Jude, his attack range isn't that long normally on his arts, except for maybe Whirlwind Snap, Demon Fist, and some other ones. Most of them are just, you know, they have to connect with his hands, and his hands don't really have that big a reach. And because you're constantly getting pushed around by BlazeClaw's arms, that gets problematic. Alvin doesn't have this problem as much because his sword is so big. I can't remember how many takes this fight took. Or many attempts, rather. It was pretty long. I think I messed up this setup here too. No, I actually got it. Cool. Switching it up a bit. I noticed that Cyclone Drive enables you to stagger him for long enough for you to land and then throw out something else that preferably should have a pretty quick wind-up time. Such as Crosscleave. I think Dragon Swarm works as well, but I actually need to hit all the elements, so I might as well use it there. This guy has so much health too. It's annoying. I think he's got somewhere around 400,000, something like that. You can just see how Alvin's getting pushed around. And imagine how much of a pain that was with Jude. Imagine how much of a pain that is with anyone else, basically. I can imagine that Gaius might not have the same problems as well, because he's got a big sword as well. But I don't know, I haven't actually tried yet. Oh god, I'm gonna have to do this guy again with the other characters. Fuck. Why did I remind myself of that? Now my day's ruined. Oh well. I'll tackle that when we get there. Indeed. Wingull Luger. This one I'm pretty happy with, mainly because of the combos I use in it. I think it shows pretty consistently with my Luger videos that the combos I use, or the setups I use rather, I tend to try new things. Except for some, what's the word I'm looking for? Except for some brain fart ones I use. Like Flame Tunnel, Hammer Flail, Hammer Toss is one of my favorite chains with Luger, and so I use that quite a lot when I'm not sure what to do. So that pops up quite a bit, so I could probably change that. But it's always good to have a chain or two that you can just resort to when you don't have anything else to do. This one's probably my favorite. I don't really have a whole lot to say about this fight because I'm basically okay with all of it. I got lucky here with Blaze Bloom. Yeah, that was kind of cool actually. He was just about to hit me, I switched weapons, freeze frame, and then I sidestepped out of there. Pretty cool. Very lucky, but pretty cool. I think here I hesitated. I wondered, should I actually run up and hit him? I hadn't decided until he actually almost started moving, so I was a bit late there. If I were ever to redo this, I would change that. Here, I just didn't hesitate, just went straight in. And that chain, the neutral, down attack, falling thunder, is a chain I learned from watching one of Clip's videos. I think namely it was his Julius 2 fight, so if you're interested you can check that out. It's very good. We'll probably change Thousand Swords to extend that a bit more, so that I wouldn't have to resort to a falling snow there to kill him, but it is what it is. I'm not going to change this fight just because of that. I think it's fine in all the other areas. And Blazeclaw Luger. Wait, is Blazeclaw Jude not in this one? When's that? Oh, okay, that's the first one next time. Oh, goody. Well, that's good. That means we don't have to watch 3 minutes of me flailing around this dude. Just quite yet. I think I really like the combos in this one as well. Using Endless Waltz in a non-combo finisher setting there, which is something I hadn't really done before. But I noticed you could do it. Thanks to Blazeclaw staying down just enough. And he doesn't get knocked away too far either, so you can reinitiate pretty quickly. I'm probably going to try that against the next Kronos fight as well. Because that seems like something you could do against him as well. I don't even know what the next boss that I'm going to do on the channel is. I just did Agrion Alvin. I haven't actually played Exilia 2 since I did that combo video. So I have no idea. We'll find out, I suppose. I'm a bit caught up in Tales of Systeria at the moment, just running through that. Learning what I can. I'm gonna attempt to do some runs for that. Once I feel I understand the game well enough. Which, considering it's in Japanese, might take some time. But there's a guide up there on GameFAQs that explains all the ins and outs of the skill system and all that stuff, so I'm gonna study that pretty hardcore once I actually start getting into that. But that's that's quite a ways away, so let's focus on Exilia 2 for the moment. And finally we've got, oh, not finally, almost finally, we've got Sonny Jude. The quality on this one is a bit crappier because this was done during a live stream and I hadn't actually... This was still a practice session. I wasn't really expecting this to ever be successful. So that's why the quality on this one sucks. Which is unfortunate because it's probably one of my favorite videos ever. Mainly because this is all improvised right here. I think. Some setups were probably practiced. But most of the mid-combo stuff, most of the combo finishers and stuff, that was just on-the-fly things. I was really feeling it when I was recording this. I think it was during one of my first live streams. Well, not one of my first, that was back in like 2012, 2011, but one of my first live streams recently, when I actually started doing this on a somewhat regular basis. So maybe some of the energy from that transferred. Whirlwind Snap Sound Spark is one of my favorite setups for bosses that don't get knocked around a whole lot. Like Sonny, like Megatusk, like Kronos too, ostensibly. So when I did this fight, I really enjoyed Jude. This was a ton of fun to do. And Jude is still one of my favorites. But I'm realizing his damage output is a bit too low for some of the bosses that I'm getting up to now. Or rather, his damage output is a bit too low to make them swift. It's doable, it's gonna take some time. So I've got some thinking to do when it comes to actually... What's the word I'm looking for? When it comes to actually do a Rideau 2 and all those fights that I haven't done yet. I'm not looking forward to that. I think I was grossly over-leveled for this fight, so Seafall Phantom is swiftly dealt with. And I could have done a better job dodging things in the beginning, I think. Wow, it takes quite a bit of damage from burn, look at that. Yeah, and then the obligatory Chromatus finish for this fight. If you want to see the definitive version of this fight, check out Samu's Muse solo. It is pretty spectacular what that man has done for this fight. As I put in the comments, and on this day, Samu took the bar from this fight and shot it into space, never to be reached again, or never to be raised again. Something along those lines. But yeah, it's quite spectacular, so go watch that. It's good. And that was the last one. Just gonna make sure this was actually a Marsh video now, so I'm not messing up. Yep, okay. Alright, that's all for this time. Doesn't look like there are a whole lot of videos for April. Never mind. Well, I'm still not done yet. I'm probably gonna make maybe 2 free additional ones. I'm not sure yet. So next time we've got Blaze Claw Jude up to... fuck it, let's say Luger combo free as well. Physical education. But until next time I will say goodbye, and I will see you then. Toodaloo.